You know, I could do a test ride on this bike, Darcy, for like the general YouTube population.
You go ahead. Welcome back. In this episode, I'm revisiting a tour I did to the Tail of the Dragon with Meg's motorcycle journey. On the tour, Meg took my Diavel V4 for a test ride.
So Darcy, you want to tell us a little bit about this bike, the model, and some stuff about it?
23 Ducati Diavel V4. It's got all the bells and whistles, right? Lots of horsepower and the auto blip shifter and cruise control. And the thing I liked about it is it's got the power, but it's still comfortable enough. The seating position is the mid pegs. The seat's wide and fairly comfortable, right? So that I can do some long distance, but then when we get to a place like Tail of the Dragon,
it's fun.
Yeah, you can let it go, and it handles not quite like a super sport bike, but sporty enough to have that fun.
So y'all, he was telling me it's actually like a sport tour.
So this is one of the places we stayed during our tour to the Tail of the Dragon, Thunder Mountain. All the accommodation, food, drinks, and activities were planned by Meg and Mike. We stayed here for a few days and we toured the Tail and we checked out other epic roads. We even visited a waterfall to cool off. But this is where Meg's test ride began. Both Meg and Mike took the Diavel for a test ride. Later, we'll get Meg's opinion on the bike. So here you have it, the 23 Diavel V4 with its 1158cc Gran Turismo engine that cranks out 168 horsepower and 93 foot-pounds of torque. The bike weighs in at 463 pounds dry, and with that massive 240 rear tire, it helps put all the power down, making it one of the fastest Ducatis, hitting 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds.
He has been on 2 tours with us. He's actually a moto officer in Canada. He does motorcycle accident recreations, but he also does a lot of the slow speed maneuver training and slow speed skills. Darcy's a great rider, very skilled. We have really enjoyed having him on our tours.
Okay, more about the Diavel. It has traction control, wheelie control, lean control, and anti-yaw, if you know what that is. It has a full TFT display with 4 riding modes, including Sport, Touring, Urban, and Wet. But let's be honest, you'll only use one mode, Sport. The Diavel takes riding motorcycles and turns it up to 11. Meg, what did you think?
I actually loved it. It was one of the most fun bikes I've ever been on. This is probably my favorite bike I've ever ridden, which really surprised me, y'all.
And this brings me to the comfort. The Diavel, with its 31-inch seat height, the swept-back bars, and the cockpit-like design, you don't sit on the Diavel, you sink into it. You feel like you're one with the machine. This makes long rides and commutes a breeze on the Diavel. Don't take my word for it. Tell me, Meg, how did you feel about it?
And I loved it. It was pretty comfortable.
So earlier I mentioned that the Diavel was one of the fastest Ducatis 0 to 60. How did it feel to you, Meg?
This thing felt like the fastest bike I've ever been on.
So Meg, I know you mentioned you rode the bike in touring mode, but how would you describe when you twisted that throttle and you accelerated on the Diavel?
It shoots you out of a rocket. So you'll see a little bit later where I literally have to push my helmet back on because it's so fast that even though this helmet's very tight on my head, it blew a little bit back. The power is crazy, but I loved it.
So what kind of aftermarket accessories did I put? Well, I started with the mirrors, Moto Gadget CNC cut aluminum glassless mirrors. I also added a carbon fiber keyless gas cap. I mean, what's the point of having a motorcycle that is keyless to start and having to fumble for keys to put gas in it? I also did front signal light illumination. Then there's the exhaust. I went with the Terminioni system. Shaves almost 20 power, adds like 7 horsepower, but gives smoother power throughout the entire rev range. I think it also cleans up the look of the bike and the sound. Well, Meg, what did you think about the sound?
Guys, the sound on this thing is sick. It's disgusting. Like, I love the sound of Michael's bike. He has big radius Vance and Hines on his Breakout, and they have long been my favorite sounding exhaust pipes. But I will say the exhaust on this puppy was also very low and very rumbly and beautiful, and I loved it. So I don't have a lot of bad stuff to say about this bike, guys. It was super fun, super fast, really smooth, just handled amazingly, and I am just so grateful that Darcy let me ride it. Man, one of my favorite bikes ever. Super fun, super torquey, just an awesome overall bike. Thanks, Darcy. This was so cool.
Let's take a step back and take a look at the bikes that were on the tour down to the tail of the Dragon. Mike was riding his Harley Breakout. Probably if I was to buy a Harley, that'd be the model. Meg toured with her Honda Transalp, a good adventure bike. Dave had his Honda Goldwing. What can you say about a Goldwing? Smooth and refined. And Ray had his classic Indian. That was a sweet ride. So this is a perfect time to let you know that my plans are that I am going to be doing a third tour with Meg and Mike down to the back of the Dragon. And that tour is coming up July 23rd. This time I'm going to bring my own cameras, maybe the drone, shoot my own footage for the YouTube channel. So the back of the Dragon is in Virginia, I think, and I'm excited to be going. This will be my third tour with Meg and Mike from Meg's Motorcycle Journey. If you're unaware of their channel, check them out on YouTube and check out the tours they provide. They take care of everything. They plan the routes, the meals, the accommodations. All you got to do is show up and ride. Hence the reason I'm going back for my third tour. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm also looking forward to getting lots of great footage and then putting that out on my YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, enjoy some more footage of Meg testing out the Diavel V4 down by the tail of the Dragon.
Done some upgrades. Thinkers here, which is actually really cool.
It's tight. He's got his exhaust.
Exhaust is there's the blinkers.
Oh, Michael, here's the blinkers. So pretty cool.
That is cool, actually. I like that.
And then you said exhaust is upgraded, right?
Exhaust is upgraded. It's a new exhaust.
So I will say, aside from Michael's bike, it's probably sound-wise
pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
It's
so
very
I love that. When
aggressive
I rode
sound.
It's like really low and rumbly, and that was fun. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, it is actually pretty comfortable.
You rode it for about an hour and a half, right?
About an hour and a half, and even though it certainly shoots you out of a rocket like a sport bike, you're sitting in a more tolerable position. And you know, if I had a cool 20 or 30 grand lying around, I'd probably
jump on something like this, huh?
Yeah, because it was like the best parts of a sport bike and the best parts of a cruiser sort of combined. I was expecting it to be very uncomfortable, but it wasn't. The only thing, and I was telling Darcy this last night, that I might do if I owned this bike is move the controls just a couple inches forward. But even so, this is so much more. One, I can almost flat foot on this bike, and you guys know I'm 5'2". Two, I'm not in the like rear control position where my knee is bent like that much on my knees. I'm old, guys. I'm getting old.
You're getting old.
And the bars come back a little bit, so you don't have to lean forward to push in.
Right. So that was awesome. I mean, all of the like features of this bike were super impressive, and all the different modes. So I had it in touring, although Darcy and Michael rode it in sport on the Dragon. They had some fun with that.
Oh, this thing flew on the Dragon.
But honestly, the quick shifter. So we have a quick shifter on the Honda, but I have to say the quick shifter on this is significantly more impressive.
Yeah, it's very, very smooth in
just
comparison.
Shoots you out of a rocket. Super cool. So
Well, this is the
I played with that a
Ducati of
little.
Ducatis, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have ridden that other Ducati, and I have looked at a number of different ones. Actually, my law partner used to ride one, and him and I have talked about them. And I would say easily this one was my favorite. It was a nice ride. So Darcy's probably going to be selling this thing next year because he's moving to Costa Rica. I'm probably going to be looking for something more like the Transalp.
So if anyone's interested in a beautiful Ducati,
Certainly,
Shoot Meg a message
yeah.
and look me up. I will set you up. It's definitely I didn't want to go to a full bagger. I ride them at work and I like them. I didn't want to. I'm too old to do a full sport bike.
Yeah.
I hate the knees and the wrists, so this is a really good sort of mix between the two.